Hi guys, welcome to Network Marketing Keeping It Real. Today we have Ruth Mayne with us. She's a top earner in the network marketing industry. She's been in the industry for over 20 years and we're very honoured to have her with us today.
Hi Ruth.
Hi Elizabeth, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to speak with us today.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I can't wait to come to Australia and meet you all.
Yeah, that would be great. We can't wait till that happens either. We just wanted to ask you some questions as we think that your input would be beneficial to a lot of people. So I'll just get right into the questions. Thank you again for taking the time. How did you get introduced to network marketing?
Well, you know, and I did a video on this not too long ago because none of us grow up and say, I'm going to grow up and become a network marketer. You know, nobody aspires to that, or at least in our generation. Now, younger generations are starting to figure out that it's a very viable way to make a lot of money. But what happened with me is I had dabbled in network marketing, but I never took it seriously. And then, like most people, I had to have something drastic happen in my life. My oldest daughter fell off of our swing and had a massive head injury. She was in a coma for 2 months and 2 days. She's had 8 brain surgeries. She survived. She functions at about 9 years old, and she's in her mid-30s now. And then 2 years later, my youngest daughter was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 5. So I lost everything I ever worked my life for. And I've had some great jobs, but they were just that, jobs. And when I had to be at the hospital with my children, you know, my boss just said, well, if you can't be here, I'm going to fire you. And I get that. I understood it. But at that moment in time, I said to myself, I would never again let any person dictate to me that I was able to feed my kids or keep a roof over their head. And so I just jumped into network marketing with both feet and went, you know, just hair on fire, all out run. And unfortunately, too many people have to let their circumstances get to that point before they take it really seriously. And what I'm here to say and to teach people and hopefully mentor people to the fact that you don't have to wait until your circumstances are dire to get into network marketing. It is one of the most viable forms of income and income solutions for the average family, bar none. So that was how I was introduced and jumped in.
Well, that is awesome. Like, it's awesome that you were introduced to the industry, but not awesome that you had to go through that dire situation, you know. But yeah. Okay, sorry. Question number 2. Do you do network marketing full time?
I have done network marketing full time, yes, since 1995.
Oh,
I have not looked back. This industry has been very, very good to me. You know, a lot of people jump from company to company when they don't see results in a week or a month or a year. Network marketing is something that you have to learn, and it has to learn you. And you have to learn how to be able to interact with many types of different people from all around the world, like we're doing right now. You have to be able to look in the mirror and say to yourself, you can do this, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, look at Alex, look at you. I mean, you know, the circumstances that you two are going through, absolutely incredible. You are women of wisdom, and you are women of power. And for me, that is a big thing in network marketing, is being able to empower women with single moms like Alex, you know, being homeless for 5 years, you, and going through what you're going through with your treatments and everything. And it's humbling to me to be able to work with people like you, because it's the average everyday person that goes through the average everyday struggles, or above average struggles in some cases, that always end up on the top if you just give them a hand up. And so that's what I love about this industry. And I'm excited to be working with you girls. You crack me up at every turn. And that is what this business is supposed to be. It's supposed to be about fun, about friendship, about mentorship, and about making money. And when you take and add anything else in the mix, and you know, we have our serious moments where you say we have to talk business, but there's no reason you can't laugh and have a good time and respect each other at the same time and do that. And all the while leading from the heart, being truthful, being honest, and just letting people have their space to grow it in their own time, because people will blossom if you give them the opportunity to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that probably answers some of the next question, which is, how would you say network marketing has changed your life?
Oh my gosh. You know, I had dabbled in network marketing, and I was so broke. I mean, I could tell you story upon story of lies that I've told bill collectors. You know, I had a bill collector call once, and everybody says I sound really young on the phone. And so I answered the phone on this particular day, and he said, "Hi, is your mommy there?" And I said, "Yes, hang on." And I just put the phone down and shouted, "Mom, telephone." And I just left the phone. I never went back to the phone. I let it off the hook for hours. You know, I've put the wrong bill in the wrong envelope and mailed it to somebody. You know, my vehicle was going to be repossessed because I couldn't make the payments. What I did is somebody said, "It's a 4-wheel drive. Take 2 tires off the same side of the car so it sits like this, and they can't tow it away." I've hidden it in my neighbor's garage. I've done everything. I mean, I'm not proud of that. And I didn't do it to maliciously avoid paying bills. I seriously didn't have money. And I went on to pay those back. I went to a meeting. I wrote a bad check to get on the ferry. I wrote a bad check for gas. I got to this meeting. There were only 5 people in the meeting. That's it, only 5. Now, a lot of so-called leaders would say, "I'm not showing up if there's only 5 people in the meeting." And you know what? All 5 of us became millionaires in 1 year. All 5 of us.
Wow.
So you can't judge a meeting by the number of people that are there. You judge the meeting by the character of what the people do that were in the meeting. And, you know, I see in this industry a lot of times, and I understand it, you have to make a trip pay for itself. Otherwise, all you're doing is spending money and you're not ever recouping that. So you have to be business savvy about it. But I've done meetings where nobody showed up, but that person was so thankful that I just came that they really buckled down and went on to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So going to a meeting to be open was my biggest thing. And from there, I haven't looked back. That first month in that company, I made $800. And, you know, people were like, "Oh, only $800? Well, you know, I was dead broke. I had no home. I was living at Ronald McDonald House with my kids. I mean, it was terrible. And then the next month I made $15,000. And the month after that, almost $30,000. And it kept climbing from there. It was incredible. And then I started paying back everybody that had lent me money. In fact, I called the place that my truck was financed through and I said, "I want to pay off my truck." I'm sure they fell on the floor because they were saying like, "Yeah, right, you're going to pay off your truck. You can't even make your monthly payment of $300 and you're going to pay it off, right?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'd like to just send you a check." And they said, "No, you can't do that," because I had bounced so many checks to them. They said it had to be certified funds. So I did. I sent them certified funds, paid off my truck. I started paying off my debt every month. And then I took my daughter, who was going through chemotherapy, I took her shopping because with chemotherapy, you go through, as you know, a lot of drugs that make you put on a lot of weight and then lose a lot of weight and put on a lot of weight. And she was only 5 years old and she was completely bald. She had no eyelashes, no eyebrows. I mean, nothing. And for Halloween one year, in fact, we drew a face on the back of her head and put her clothes on backwards. She had a blast. Other people were like, "How could you do that to your little girl?" I'm like, it was her idea. But you know, it was network marketing that got me through all that. It's network marketing that paid my bills. It's network marketing that got me out of debt. It's network marketing that allowed me to go in and make one payment on a brand new vehicle instead of financing it. It's network marketing that allows me to go out and buy whatever we need or want or desire and not have to finance anything. If we want something, we just go buy it, we pay for it. There's no 30-day plan, 90-day plan, or 2-year plan. You just put the money out and you pay for it. And again, network marketing is the only venue that I know of that can do that for the average person.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. So, so being a 6-figure income earner, is this the first company that you've earned 6 figures in?
No. I've done that in a couple companies, going back quite a few years. Unlike a lot of network marketers, I think, though, I was very prudent with my money. And I think that that had to do with my circumstances. You know, once you lose everything in life, your homes, your cars, everything, I got real smart real fast and said, you know, I don't own credit cards. If I can't pay for it, it doesn't get bought. Everybody says, well, what do you do in case of an emergency? We have a lot of cash put away. That's what I do in case of an emergency. So, you know, there really isn't anything that could come up that we couldn't say, okay, here's the money, let's pay for it. So I saved a lot of money. I also was with a company that taught me a skill in currency trading that has allowed me to make money every day, doing that every single day, even up to this day, in trading currencies. And that's not something everybody can do. A lot of people say, why aren't you still teaching that? Or why don't you do that anymore? It's because it's not something that everybody can do. You know, yes, it came from a home-based business, but it's not a skill that most people can grasp. With what we're doing now with this company and our products, not only can you save a life, but anybody can do it. You don't have to have any special knowledge or expertise at all. Anybody can become a millionaire easily.
Okay, great. That kind of leads into our next question, which is, what would you say makes a great leader?
There's a lot of things. And I hope you're not looking for just one answer. I think, first of all, my mother taught me you always have to have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You have to listen more than you speak. And that's true in anything we do in life. You have to understand the personality of the person that you're working with and where they're coming from, and that their fears are real. You know, for me, I don't get it when people say, I'm afraid to make a phone call, because for me, that's never been an issue. But I have to understand that their fear of talking on a phone to someone they may or may not know is just as big as my fear of, say, rattlesnakes. I was bit by a rattlesnake when I was 11 years old and I almost died. And so now I can't hold snakes anymore. I mean, I grew up holding snakes. We had boa constrictors, but ever since I was 11 and got bit by that rattlesnake, if a snake sneaks up on me or surprises me, I still to this day jerk, just, you know, a primal action. So I understand that I have that fear. So putting myself in somebody else's shoes is another quality I think all leaders have to have. And I believe also that you have to meet people at their need. You can't force people to do things that they are not ready to do. You always encourage people to push their boundaries. But when you start forcing people by giving them ultimatums like, you know, if you don't do this, I'm not going to talk to you, or if you don't do that, you can't be part of our team, or whatever the case may be, I think all you do then is alienate people. And in this business, we're here to uplift each other. And that means in all areas of our life, whether we agree or not. And that comes down to friendship. Now, obviously, we're not going to be friends with every single person that comes into your business. Heck, I've got so many people in my business right now, I don't even know most of them. So there's no way I can be friends with all of them. However, when people do call me, I am open to, who are you? What do you want? Let's see what we can do together, and let's see what I can do to help. And the last thing is, always remember where you come from. Never, ever get on a high horse and think that you're better than somebody else, because what is given to you can also be taken away from you. And you know that old adage about karma. So you have to be careful, because karma will come back to bite you if you don't treat people, you know, the way that you'd like to be treated. And I think that's one of the most important things in being a good leader and in promoting good leaders.
Exactly. Okay. So question number 6, we've only got a few more to go. How long have you been with your current company?
I've been with World Global Network for coming up on 3 years here. It's 2 years and 10 months. And at the end of May, it'll be 3 years. I was the second person in North America to get involved with this company before they even had a website, before they ever had anything. We came on board because we saw the bigger picture of where they were going and what they were going to do. And I got real excited about the compensation plan. Being a math and science major in college, you know, compensation plan is one of the first things I always look at to make sure that it's fair to everyone. And so many comp plans have more breakage than they need to. When you have a binary, especially, the things that I looked for were what do you have to do? What does the average person have to do in order to get paid? And when I saw how fair this was, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I can probably build this with integrity. And so that's what's kept me around, that and our products.
Oh, awesome. So probably that answers actually our next question, was what made you join your current company?
The products, the compensation plan. I met with Fabio Galdi several times, and believe it or not, I wasn't going to join. When I first saw the compensation structure, I immediately backed away and said, no, that kind of a compensation structure is not fair to the average person out there. Only people that can build a lot of personal recruits ever make money. And then Fabio sat me down and explained exactly how it works. And I went, okay, that's a big difference. And that makes it fair, because, you know, the average person in this industry is only going to ever sponsor less than 3 people personally. And most compensation plans, as you grow through that compensation plan, you have to do more and more work as expected of you, not with this one. So that was the biggest one. And the product had to be something that excited me, that was intriguing, and that I knew people would buy. I don't like to have to convince people to buy something, because when you have to convince somebody, they're not going to use it, they're not going to stick around. When you can show somebody and they believe in it before they purchased it, it's a no-brainer.
Okay. What ways do you market your business?
Me personally?
Yes. Yeah.
It really depends on, you know, how do I say this? I have been doing this for so long that I can market. My best way is person to person. So whether on the phone, in a live meeting, in a Skype chat or a Zoom chat, or, you know, a webinar room, that for me at the grocery store, just talking to people that I meet. However, I have learned, because I've been around this industry before the internet was around, I've had to learn to do internet marketing. Now, that is not my forte. I know there's a lot of people that do it, but let me tell you why it's not my forte. People inherently do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you have these internet marketers and you see them jumping from one to the next, to the next, to the next, it's because they're just throwing numbers at the wall and seeing what sticks. They don't know any of those people that they're introducing. And quite frankly, most of them could care less. When you form a relationship, a bond with the person that you are bringing into a business, you are saying to them, we will do this together. And in essence, you do a lot of the building together. And so for me, the face-to-face, person-to-person, belly-to-belly, and I say belly-to-belly even though we're halfway across the world, because we're belly-to-belly through an electronic process. But I don't do just mass emails and tell people, you got to get in now, you know, blah, 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 and all the hype. I'm not into hype. I just like you girls, I love it, keeping it real. You just got to keep it real, and you got to be truthful. And as long as you do that, people will find you. They will seek you out, they will find you, and they will want to be sponsored by you.
Okay, cool. What are your favorite tools to use in this business?
Again, belly to belly, face to face. I love doing live meetings. I absolutely thrive at the front of a room. I have studied personal development and personalities for a very long time. I love standing at the front of the room and figuring out who in the crowd do I need to talk to. And that, for me, that's a challenge, because I love to be able to make sure that everybody in the room I connect with that's a guest.
Yeah.
Because when you're at the front of the room, that's your job, is to close the sales for the people that have brought guests. And I love doing that. Absolutely love it. I also like doing webinars. I like doing Zoom meetings, Facebook Lives, Google Hangouts. You know, we've got a Google Hangout here in just about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And those things are simple. You can build a global business right from your living room. And it's not that hard. It really isn't. Now, you know, I also do email marketing to an extent. I also do social media marketing to an extent. And I think we all have to incorporate a little bit of everything into our repertoire of building a business. After all, you don't want to cut yourself short because you're afraid to do a Zoom meeting, or because you're afraid to stand in front of a crowd, or because you're afraid to talk to somebody. You want to make sure that you're pushing yourself all the time to get out of your comfort zone and do anything and everything that will help your business grow, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, I might add.
Exactly. So we've just got a couple more, sorry. Excuse me. If you had to start over again and say you knew no one, where would you go to prospect?
Pretending I know no one, I think I would go to mixers, networking mixers. Most towns have them. Toastmasters, the Elks, the Lions, the Eagles, places like that, that allow people to come in for free and share their product and share their product knowledge with them. It would depend on the product, of course. If you're talking about, if I were to come into this company again and didn't know anybody, what would I do? That's what I would do. College campuses, doctors' offices, anybody and everybody, even go to hospitals, hospice, you know, retirement communities, anywhere that there's people that need what we have, and just share it with them.
Yeah, oh, perfect. So for anyone looking to join the industry, where would you tell them to start?
Well, you have to find a company that you like. That's the first thing. And most people, when they look at a company, they don't understand compensation plans. They don't understand any of that. So you're going to need to rely on somebody that knows something about the industry, or do your homework and learn about the compensation plan. Because it doesn't matter how good the product is, if there's not a compensation plan that pays you a good amount of money for doing the work for the company, then you want to shy away from that. In my humble opinion, if there's companies out there that don't have rev share programs, those are companies that you want to stay away from. So do your homework on the company, do your homework on the product, do your homework on the compensation plan, and also, who are you going to work with? You know, this is a little bit of a touchy subject, but I've heard people say, well, I have a right to choose my sponsor. Yes, you do. Absolutely. And I would tell you, before you sign up, don't get bullied into signing up too fast. Make sure you're choosing a sponsor that truly is going to put their money where their mouth is and work with you, and not just shine you on after you've signed up. Because that's one of the biggest idiotic bonehead moves that people make in this industry. They work to sign people up and then they ignore them. I'm like, what the heck? You know, sign up is just the first step. That's the first date. You know, you're not going to kiss on that date. You're just going to go out. Well, some people would, but Kristy would. But, you know, you're going to get to know each other. And then on the next date, which is, let's make some phone calls together. Let's put a list together. You know, then you're going to grow that relationship, and you have the right and should pick a sponsor that you can get along with and that you know is going to back you up and be there.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much. And just before we end there, do you have any words of wisdom for our watchers?
Gosh, if you are looking to get into a network marketing business, this is the one to get into. And if you're looking for some incredible sponsors and team to work with, it's these girls. They've got heart, they've got spunk, they keep it real. If you knew some of the challenges that they were going through, you would say, yes, absolutely, I need to be with this team. You know, there's days that I know Alex hasn't gotten any sleep. She's got a bunch of kids at home. She's got handicapped kids. Elizabeth, with you going through what you're going through, you know, like I said, my hat's off to all of you. Kristy, I know we're always catching you running around grocery shopping or picking the kids up at school or whatever. These girls are the type of people you want to work with because they are real. They're not going to pretend not to be real. They will help you the best that they can, and they will always be truthful. And I'm working with them. And I think I'm fairly easy to get a hold of most of the time. I'm very reachable. And I so enjoy working with the three of you. It isn't funny. I mean, I can't even put it into words. I think you are all incredible. I think anybody that comes onto your team is blessed, and they're going to laugh a lot, and that is a good thing.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much for that, Ruth. And in saying that, we're gonna wrap it up. And thank you for your time. Thank you for answering our questions for our watchers and viewers, and for our team. And yeah, so thank you for your time again. And
do we get to do bloopers and outtakes now?
The good
We're keeping it real.
The good thing about this is that it didn't take 50 times to do the video.
No, it only took Alex saying, Elizabeth, can you answer the questions or ask the questions, because I'm going to get, my screen's going to go black. And I'm telling you, people, if you're out there listening to this, no matter when you see it, you've got to get on these girls' team. They are a crack up. And I'm telling you, you're not going to find better-hearted people.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you.
We love you too.
Yes.
Mwah, you're awesome.
Okay, thanks for watching.
I'm Kristy, and I'm keeping it real.
I'm Alex, and I'm keeping it real.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm keeping it real.
And I'm Ruth, and I'm keeping them real. Bye.
Yes.